Hello, and welcome to the next session where we're going to be building out aliasnerd.com's web app. So we've been building this for quite some time. This is the 8th part, so about 8 hours of coding, a little bit here and there just for chatting, but about 8 hours of coding. So far, just a recap of everything we've done. We have, let's just see here. We have two main models. What's going on with my screen? Well, actually, we have two main models. We have projects currently and users. So users is used obviously to keep track of users and logging in and registration and all that kind of stuff. Really minimal right now, but it is keeping track of sessions and things, and so very important for the future. The other thing we built out is projects, which is a basic model to keep track of, different projects that I've built or we've built as a community in the future. Just keeping track of the name of the project, the description, and then two links, the link to the actual web app and the link to the GitHub source code, because most of the projects, if not all of them, will be open source. So that's sort of the goal with the website so far. The thing we're going to work on today is adding a brand new feature. One of the main three features the web app will have. Projects we've already taken care of. The next one we're going to start today is the video feature. So all the videos you could watch, not only the live streams, but I'll do more educational videos and then one-day builds and things like that. Just fun things. So that's going to be one feature that we're going to start building up today. Then the last one that we're going to probably do for this application is the discussions feature. So doing things like discussing concepts about Rails or other topics, discussions about future projects or project ideas, or discussions about existing projects. So discussions is going to be the third main key to this application. But before we go too far, let's just start working on the second feature, videos. Let me just open up Vim here. And what we're going to try and do is start with the tests. I haven't really done this too much on the streaming, so we'll just do it for this feature right here. So let's just go into the test folder and we will see, we'll start off with models test. We need a brand new model for this. So I'm just going to open up the projects model, which is essentially going to be the same type of thing here. And let's copy it all. Oh, that's not good. Okay, so we're going to copy all this, yank that, and then we're going to edit a brand new file in test model. Let's call it, so we're going to call the whole thing video and video test.rb. So video will, I'm just trying to think if that's the best name. So we have projects, videos, and discussions. So videos, yeah, I think that would be fine. It's going to be like pages. You can create videos, edit them, obviously delete them, and then have an index of all the videos and then show a video page. So yeah, video works. I like the name video. It's always good to think about this before you dive right in, because it can be difficult to change the name of your model later on. It's just a lot of things you got to think about. So it's better just up front, just think of how that might work, and I'm hoping that video is good. I think it is. So we'll just create this file, and I'm going to paste in the test from the projects test. So let's just change this to video. So it's going to be an active support because we're dealing with the model. And then I'm just going to run a quick search and replace on the word project and replace that with the word video. And that way I'll do /G to get all of them. That's done. The lowercase project will also do the same thing for that. So %s. Let's do the lowercase project. And we'll change that to the lowercase video and grab them all and get them all. Okay, so it looks like we have that done. Okay, now one thing I didn't do it in this application, but I'm going to do it on this test here and maybe update projects later on to do it as well, is create this setup. So we're just going to do setup do, and then in here we're going to do a params hash. So params is going to equal this hash. And we'll just stick in here what the video will need. So the video will obviously have a name, new video. Well, need a comma there. So then we're going to have a description. It's pretty much exactly the same as the project with slight differences. So this is a video. Let's see the other thing it's going to need. It's going to need a video source ID. I don't want to call. I was going to call it video ID, but that's sort of already used up with this model. The video ID is going to be used in other things, so we'll call it video source ID, which is a little bit easier to know exactly what we're talking about. So let's do a random thing in there. Okay, and let's see here. For now, I think that's going to be good enough. I'm just going to save. Whoops. Save that. Okay, so inside of all these creates, what we want to do is pass in the params. Actually, that should be at params. There we go. So in this is very easy. We just go at params, and then here is not valid if missing descriptions. So you can simply do this and do at params dot exclude. I can't remember if I need the exclamation point on the exclude. I think I do, because this way it returns. Let me just verify this, because there's two different returning values if you use this differently. So Ruby hash. Actually, I'll do Rails because it might be a Rails thing. So Rails hash exclude or accept. Yeah, it's exclude. Oh no, I think it is accept. Okay, never mind. Oh, here it's accept. Okay, so replaces the hash without the given. Yeah, that's what I want. You see this one? It if you do accept without the exclamation point, it does it on this line. It takes it out, but hash still has it, and that's not really. I guess I could do either or, but this returns a hash that includes everything but the given keys. Yeah, you could do either or. This one actually changes the hash. Because we're doing tests, it really doesn't matter, because hash gets, or the params hash gets recreated every time we run one of these tests, so it doesn't really matter. But so we're just going to want accept, right? Accept, not exclude. I've done that mistake a few times. Accept a few times. Okay, so we'll do that, and there we go. So this one's not going to be valid. Oh, this is name missing. Okay, so this one is name missing. And web link we don't have, but we do have video source, so I'll just change these two words. And grab that, put it here, get rid of this, and then so we will need all three of those. We don't have another parameter, so we don't need that there, and we'll delete that. A video name must not contain invalid characters, so that's fine. We don't have a video, so I should create that, but this is a standard test I run for the name to check if it has the proper characters. I do it on almost all of my models. It just sort of works, so I just sort of leave it, even though the name doesn't really make sense. It just works with how everything should work. So I leave that like that. So we do need a fixture. So I'm just going to save this and go back into here. And we'll create a fixture in there. So I'm just going to refresh this so we can see everything. Done. There we go. Okay, so I will create the new file in test fixtures, and then we'll create the file videos.yaml. That's not what we wanted. It's there anyway, so we'll just create it. So we'll say 1. So video 1 will have a name of video 1. It will have a description of this is video 1. It will have a video source ID of that, and it will also have a slug of video 1. And I will save this and go back to the thing and then refresh this. So it has video 1 now. Perfect. So this should work. This is for the model. This should work. So I'm going to run this test. So I will go into here and do, actually before I do that, before I do the guard, I think there's a setting. I'm going to see if I can remember it. So I'm going to go over here and go down to the guard file. And in here, I'm going to insert all on start false. Pretty sure that's what the feature is. So we will try go back into there and go into here and run guard. If I did that right, it should go up. Good, done. So what happens if you don't have that setting in there is guard will run all your tests all at once, which is fine for this small application. But on some of my bigger applications, it's annoying if you just start up guard and it starts to run through like 200 tests when all you really want to do is test one file you're working on today. So I'm going to go back here and save this and check the tests. Now obviously this is going to fail because we didn't have this model. Good. Okay. So it's important just to run your test to make sure nothing crazy. If you did get a pass in something, let's see, we ran 5 tests and 5 errors. So that's really good. So it says active record, statement invalid, PG undefined table, videos. And essentially it should say that on every one, which it does, which is perfect because we don't have the video model. So in here, let's do a Rails G for generate migration. It's migration, not migrate, I'm almost certain, but I'll just continue this and then we'll fix it later on. So migration, what we're doing, videos. Let's add some stuff into here. Actually, instead of migration, let's do model. We'll just generate a model. Videos, because it's going to do the migration file for us. So videos is going to have a name, and that's going to be a string. Will the name be indexed? No, it will not. So we're going to have a description, which is also going to be a string. It's going to have a video source ID, which is going to be a string. I don't think I'll have to search on that at all. No, it'll have a slug though, and that'll be a string. and index on that. I think I can do unique for here. I think. Now if this errors out, then that'll be fine, but we want the name to be unique. The slug will be built off of the name, so that's going to inherit the uniqueness. I hope. I think it will. Let's just hit enter and see what happens. The unique, I've never done that colon unique before on the name, so we'll see if that actually does work. If not, we'll just go in and create an index for it. Conflict video test. Oh yeah, we already have that written. Overwrite. No. No. Good. So let's go in and see what it did for us here. We're going to see the migration file, I suppose. Actually, we don't want to do that. Okay. All right, we'll go into the DB, migrate, create video. So we got the name, description, video source slug. It didn't do anything with this unique. So we'll just add a yeah, I'm gonna have to change a few things here. So we're going to do name uniqueness is true. Okay, I'm going to, before we do that, I'm going to go into another migrate file. Create project. Oh, it's not, it's just unique, not uniqueness. Okay, uniqueness is for the validator. So I'm just going to grab this null false because I want to use that over here. So I want, because I have all these things, like I want every single video to have them, so you put null false to do that. If you want to make it even more, clean, you could have default values so that if something did get screwed up down the way, there are default values to help you out. You especially want to do that if you're migrating an existing app. So if models didn't have something you're adding into the model, you'd set a default so that those models would just automatically have that feature if you wanted null false. But in this case, brand new app, we don't have to worry about that. So what I do need to worry about though is getting this right. So it's just unique, boom, 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 boom. And then I will copy this over, yank that up, paste. Okay, so the slug is unique. The name will do unique too. Don't really need that index. I don't think I'll ever search on the name. I'd rather just search on the slug. So we'll keep the indexes to a minimal. The source ID, we could create a unique source ID, but it's not really a big deal. If you have more than one video pointing the same thing, it's not like it's going to hurt anyone. So we'll just leave it. So we'll save that. We got the nulls in there. That's good. Okay, so I'm going to go back to our test here and make sure I'm not going to run it because that's just going to fail again, but I'll save this, quit out of that, go into here, and we'll just do a rake db migrate, and that'll get us up to speed with the videos in our Postgres database. Create that table for us. Excellent. Okay, so next up is rerunning the models test. And we will see what happens here. So this should at least get us part way to passing. We will have failures because the validations aren't there, but we're on our way. Okay, 4 errors and 1 failure. All right, so we got an error here. Video's name must not contain any invalid things. So these errors are probably the nulls. So not null violation. Okay, so it is, the errors are working with the database in our tests, except for our tests. We don't really want the database to fail because that really sucks for our users. We got 500 error, I'm pretty sure. What we want is our model, our Rails application, to say, wait, you can't have that empty. That's a improper, like that's a invalid validator on the model. So what we want to do is set that up in our models file. So this is working out good. So we solved the first issue. Let's move on to the next issue. Let's VS this and we'll get into, we should have a models thing now for video, which we do. Nothing in there. So something I know we need is require friendly ID, I believe it is. I'm going to cheat again and go into models project and steal, because why would we type everything out when we can just copy paste? Oh, extend, that's what it is, not require. Okay, so we got that. Okay, so the description presence is true. This is going to be video source ID, presence true. We don't have that. Name, we need the presence, which is good. Name, we need the length, the minimum 3, which is good, and the format, which is good. Okay, so I'm just going to drop that down. Our friendly ID is using name as the generator for the slug, which is perfect. I can, just going to drop down here and close that because we don't need it anymore. And we'll just save this, it'll run our tests. And we should have full passing tests now. Oh, wrong screen. After this, it'll be a neat exercise. You don't usually do this. See, we have full passing tests for our video model, which is awesome. We tested all the validations that we want. Our database, which does not accept null values, we know that works because we had the errors before, so that checked out. And this process of testing allows you to see both the database being created, it allows you to see the database validations on that end, and then allows you to fix that to validate on the model, on the application side in the model class. So that process is really quite clean. It doesn't obviously cover all edge cases for the model, but it does a very good job for when you're starting out designing the application. What I want to do is I'm just going to exit out of here quick and just show you the rake routes or rake test, because we'll just see coverage is 100% still. You don't typically do this until you're sort of done the feature. You can go back and say, well, did I test everything for that feature? And it'll tell you, oh, you did 98%, and you can go clean it up from there. But it's fun. We have some time right now. We'll just quickly do this, and there's only 23 tests altogether in our suite. So yeah, we see we have 100% test coverage. If I were to go over to here, test coverage page, refresh, we can see our models is still 100%. Now we have this video model. It goes through and boom, it hits everything. So that's excellent. It's so good, in fact, that we still can't, our app doesn't look any different to the user. If the user were to go on the app, they wouldn't notice anything because we have no views representing the videos. So let's work on that next. So I'll just start up Guard again, go back to here. Let's quit out of the model there, and let's actually open up a brand new file. So I'm just going to go over here and see in the controllers, and I will edit a brand new file, which would be test controllers, and we'll do videos underscore controller underscore test.rb. It's going to save this file and then switch over quickly to the projects controller test. And because most things are a system on how we accomplish different things. Like we have a technique or guidelines or structure, I guess you could say, for how we complete these things. Most of these tests can be the same as well. So I'm just going to actually copy this entire file and bring us back over to the video controller test, and we will switch out this name here to say video. So we don't need this necessarily. I don't even think I need it at all, so I'm just going to delete that. So we have a user that signs in because it is required that you sign in to get to the video's pages. Actually, it is not required. Interesting. Let's not sign in here. Let's not sign in on everyone because that allows us to play with that a little bit. Because videos, I want to be able to. Same with the projects too. I want that page to be visible to the public, so you don't need to sign in. So we will create a user for every single test, but we just won't sign them in on every test. So we don't need to sign them in here. Should get index. So that looks good. Now I could test if they're not signed in and if they're signed in, but essentially it should work in both, so I don't really need to test that. In a case where it doesn't work if they're not signed in, that's when I should actually test that it doesn't work. So we should do should get new. Now this one we do require to put this in, so I'll just do that. So we have to sign the user in, then get the new, and then assert response is success. Eventually this was going to change. This is going to be for admin. Only admins can do this, but for now we'll just leave it. Or should I do it now? Typically I wouldn't leave it. I'd just do it all now. But for sake of getting this done, yeah, we'll go back and do the admin stuff later. So should create a project. We need that to be, oops. We'll bring that down here. So they need to be signed in for that. So that's, whoops. The only thing they don't need it for is the index. So I'll put sign in on everything. The show is a little different. We don't have a show here, but I'll do a test for that. So test should show okay, so we're going to do a get show assert response. Actually, this is where we need the so we'll do videos 1. And I think we passed that video over ID video. Okay, so I'm just going to run this quick. There's a couple tests that I want to do. Actually, I don't need to run that. I just saved it. I want to do a couple tests here. So should get new. I need to grab a brand new. Yeah, we're going to have 9 failures because we don't even have a controller yet. Should not get new if not signed in. So get rid of the sign in, get new, assert. Probably redirected to. spell it right. And they're going to get redirected to, oh my gosh, what's going on here? So where would they get redirected to? Okay, they're not signed in. I click that sign in page. So new user session path. I believe that's a thing. Sorry, this create thing. So we will create a test for every one of these. So we'll just do this and go down. Whoops. So not create project if not signed in. Get rid of that. I don't care about the difference because what I do care about is the redirected to new user session. I hope to God that's the correct. I'm going to be doing this quite a bit, so I'm just going to rake routes. So we're going to do make word. All right, let's see what the rakes are. So we got session, new user session path for sign in. New user session path. And that's what I did. Good. Okay, so that's that one done. Let's go through. Should create project if not signed in. Not valid, we don't have to do that one. Get, we need to do get. Or sorry, not get, we need to do edit. Yank that down to there. Change the not get edit if not signed in. Okay, so we'll just go up here and copy this. So essentially it wants at project or what's going to be at video on many of them, so we have to go in and change this. So I'll just delete at video to there and put it back into here like I said, like I did before. I deleted it, I shouldn't have. So I'll just %s for at project and change that to at video. Do /g for all of them, and that's good. Okay, so not getting, not signed in, that's good. We have an update thing. Whoops, what the heck happened there? Okay. Yank that down to here. Delete the sign in. Should not update project if not signed in. Okay, so we're going to redirect to session path, not project path. Should have approved not valid. We don't have to do that one. Okay, this one we have to do. So we don't need to sign in. This should not destroy project. That's not project. If not signed in. We're going to do a change on project to video. And do a change on project with capital P to video with capital V. Okay, so we got delete. Okay, so we got this. So destroy video if not signed in. Assert difference video count, good. Destroy at video, good. We can't do that. I don't need this because we're just testing that I can do it, and I can't because I'm not signed in. So assert sign in user, video count, destroy video, that one looks good. Go to video's path, good, that's the index, perfect. So video, name, can't do that. So we're gonna go back to the edit page, which is good. Video's path, if you're updating a video. That's good. Like a lot of times this goes, if you're updating or creating or something, it goes to the actual show page after. And for a lot of stuff, I just change it to go to the index. So that's easy to change later on if I feel it's better for the UI, user interface, or UX for user experience. So the edit page does video, new user session. This does the video. Just double checking, make sure I did all the switching over from project to video. Missing description. Here, see all this video stuff. So we don't want this, and this should be, change this to video source ID. All these little things I just forgot to do. Get rid of all of this, and this will be video source ID. Huh. Where else do I use that? I use it up here. So there's a description, video, then we don't need that. Need the name, web link. Oops. Change that to video source ID. Okay. And this looks good. Save that. So I think we got that entire test done, which is great. So obviously it's not going to pass. Let that run. So we need to do a few things next to make it pass. It's create the controller for it, create the routes for it, and create the views for it to get these controller tests to pass, which is great because then that's going to be 100% test coverage, and we'll actually have the brand new feature up and running. All right, let's see these errors here. Runtime at controller is nil. Make sure you set in your test setup method. Undefined method GitHub. So that is an error that we can fix easily. Let me just see where that is. 67. So let's go down to. Oh yes, the update. So I did not update any of this stuff. So we will delete all of this. Name is good. Okay. Let's see here. Whoops. We'll do that, and then we'll do let's delete all this. I know there's a faster way of doing this, but let's hold this key down. Oops. Okay, now we have, that looks all good. So the next thing is create this Rails G controller and video. I think I'm going to do lowercase v. I think that's all I need. Now, there is a way that we can get it not to create the CSS and the style sheets, but I'm not going to worry about it. Let's hit this and see what it does for us. It's going to probably say, no, wait, it did test controllers video. We need the videos. Rails destroy controller video. Now it did singular video, so we want the same thing, only videos. So videos. So we just destroyed what we just did there, and we'll just generate some new ones for, yeah, see, the controller videos controller, which is great. It created the app views videos, which is great. It says we have a conflict with the test, which is exactly right. We don't want it to override the test because we have that already. And it created the assets, which, like I said, didn't really necessarily want those. But that's fine. We'll just work with it. So let's go back over to here. And inside of our app, we'll just refresh that. Done. Let's just see if it's in there. There's the videos controller, perfect. So I'll just go into it. Nothing happened. So let's run the guard test to see if our errors change at all, which they should. It's going to say it doesn't have, either the actions are missing, but some of the actions aren't required, so it will say the views are missing, the templates. Actually, it might say the routes are screwed up first. Yep, routes are screwed up. Easy fix. So that'll be the next thing we do. Remember, this is not a problem. This is exactly what you want to happen. You want to write these tests, get your tests looking great, run it, and then every time it errors, it's telling you what to do next. And that way you have everything done exactly the way you need it. So we're going to go into our config routes. And it's very simple. We're just going to copy this whole thing down and just going to delete all of this and then add to this videos because we want every single resource. Projects we didn't have a show, but videos we will have a show. I'm just going to save that and go back to the last thing we were on. Run the test on that, and let's see the next thing. It's going to be, let me think what it would be. There'll be some views, some action, or some action errors and some view errors. So check it out. See action not found. I want to see if there's any views because it doesn't need the action on all of them. The top ones probably. Destroy. Okay, destroy the action create not found. Destroy again. Update new. So we do need actions for all those. Now, index. That's funny. Oh, I guess. Maybe because we're directly testing that it hits the index one, because I thought that it would just like automatically map it through, but I guess not. Update, edit, create. Okay, so that is what it's looking for next. All of the actions, easy, easy, easy. Let's again, let's cheat a little bit and do the projects controller. Whoops. And let's go to the top of the file, and we have the before action authenticate user, we're going to do that exactly again, except for index. Perfect. So that's going to be the same. Set project will modify slightly to be set video. So we can do that easily. Let's see here. It's going to be easy just to copy all of this, and then we'll change the wording after the fact. So I'm just going to yank that, go back to the last file, and paste it in there. So the before action works perfect. The set project, so I'm just going to change that using Vim here. So it's going to be set project is now going to be set video. So good. Go back up to the top. That's for edit, update, and destroy, so that'll work. Let's go ahead and change the at project with an S, projects, to at videos. We'll do that for all of them. I think there may only be one, so we'll do the same thing without the S, whoops, because there's more of those. So we'll change all of those. Perfect. Back at the top, we'll change the project model name. So that's %s/project. We'll change that over to video. Do that to all of them. And let's start looking through here. The comments are just taking up space. I don't really need them because I understand how the controller actions work. Those are put there by the scaffolding. Okay, so index, new, and edit all work good. Create, we have video, video new, projects params. There's another one that I'm going to change over. So projects params is going to change to video params. So it's not projects, it's just project. Delete that. And params with an S, good. So we'll change that on all of them. Okay, so it's going to respond to video.save format, redirect to project's path. So this is going to be project's path is going to be changed to videos path. Okay, and video successfully created, HTML new, that's good. We have the update, let's respond to format, video update, video params, perfect. HTML video path, video successfully created, perfect. We have the delete, which is video destroy, because we got the video. Format is redirect to project's URL. So we will I'll just manual change this. There's only one, so perfect. That looks good. And then the private, we have set video using friendly, which is good. That's what we want. Video params, which I'll just change this project there to video, and it's going to have a name, a description. It's going to have a, let's see here, what was it called again? Video source ID. Perfect. And I don't need that because I understand what video params are, and I don't need that. So the comments are cool and all, but I don't really need them. Good. So I'm going to save this, and that'll run our test. So the only thing missing now in our whole process to getting that feature up and running are the views. So we will generate our views in a second. So there's a few different ways you can do this. You can do this with a scaffold for the for just the controllers, which would generate the views for you and all that kind of stuff. We're doing a little bit more manually of a way where we generated the basic controller files, and we're doing that all ourselves. So let's just see here. Missing template, just making sure it's only missing templates, because oh, the show. Okay, we need to do that because that wasn't in projects. So we're going to need it in our videos. missing template. Okay, so let's just fix that one error here quick. And we'll do def show. And we don't need anything there as of right now, but we do need to set the video in the, so we'll get the video there. Perfect. So that'll work now. The only thing we need is some views. And I'm wondering, I've never done this before, but I'm wondering if there is a generator for the views. So Rails generator views. Because they do do it in the scaffold for you, so I wonder if there's, yeah, that's fine. Just do a little bit of research here, because this would save some time. Create Ruby on Rails views only after controller. After deleting my user views. Okay, let's see what happened here. Identical, invoke. So created all those, identical. This is cool, I never knew this. Note if you want to generate views to have attributes, you need to include them after your mod. This is what Scaffold Generator calls internally. ERB Scaffold user. ERB is templating engine. Cool. You must explicitly specify the fields you would like to scaffold to use. Rails does not automatically reduce or deduce them from the created model. That's easy enough. Let's do that. That's really cool. This should be the #1 voted one because this one is not as, I guess, intuitive. It's like you have to do these extra things and it does all this junk, whereas this just does, I don't know if this works, but this just does that. So let's try that. I really like it. Okay, so we're going to do an ERB scaffold. This is cool to learn something new here. So we'll go up to the top and we'll paste this in. So we'll do the ERB scaffold for the video, and we're going to do, all these are, so name, description, and video source ID. So it needs this to be able to create the proper forms and everything, and to lay out like the tables for the index and everything. So name, description, video source ID. It doesn't need the slug at all because that's automatically generated for us. So that's all it should work. This should work. Video. Cool. So let's see what happens here. Nice. So it created the views and it did, so we already had the folder. So it just created the index, edit, show, new, and form. That's so cool. Okay. Let's go over and see what it did just to make sure. So we're going to go in here and the videos. So listing videos, it has the name, description, video source, and the 3 links. Video name, video description, video source ID. That's really, really cool. Okay. This is one of the reasons I love Rails. It's just so easy to do stuff in. So let's just go back to the controller, videos controller, and we'll just run the guard test on this. Yeah, because we had 14 tests, and the only thing that seemed to be missing was the templates. So now that we have the templates, this should all just be beautiful. One of them failed. So we redirected on the 302, and I'm guessing it's for the show. Yes, get show. Okay. So the reason why we did that is because of the login. Now, I'm not always going, like some of the time I'm going to require login on the show. Hmm. Yeah, I'm going to exclude it here. So all I have to do is add it to this list to exclude. I'm going to do the authentication on the show page differently for once we get subscriptions and all that up and running. So I'll exclude it there so you can actually see the individual pages, and we'll save that. This is going to be it for this. Oh, that's not the view I want. This one. So we'll just make sure this test runs all clear. 14 for 14. Okay, we're good there. So I'm just going to exit out of guard because we're done the feature building, and we'll do a rake test. So this is going to test everything, the entire app, for after I included that feature. Nothing else should have broken, which I don't see why it would. And then once that happens, it's going to test the test coverage on our application, which should be 100% because I designed those tests and then built the code into them. So unless I missed an edge case somewhere, which is would be rare because we didn't really do much, we're 100% coverage. So we got that done. So if I went over to here, we would see our controller is still 100, so we have video 100%, and our controller is not there. Let's just refresh this. There it is. So we have full coverage on all our code written for our controller. Everything works perfectly. Let's go through and just look at what it did here. So Rails S. So this is going to not have any links to there because we didn't set that up, but we can access the URLs ourselves. So there we go, we're in. Let's go into Firefox and just refresh this. We'll go to the videos URL manually once this loads. Here's our beautiful application. We're not signed in or anything, but we can still go to the videos path. And there we go. So we have this videos path. We can create a new video. Actually, we won't be able to because we need to log in. So see, you need to sign in before you continue. So I think we had like test at test with password. Log in. And the beautiful thing is that whole process we did in the last hour, what that showed us is we don't need to touch the browser at all. We developed this entire feature. Like obviously Rails helped out a dramatic amount, but like with 90% of the code. But we developed the feature strictly through tests and then adding the required Rails code to make the test pass. And the browser, we can come into the browser, just automatically works right off the bat. Really, really cool stuff. So we'll create a video saying how to vid description, how to make a feature. Video source, we'll do like some weird stuff in here. Create the video. And now it'll show up in here. Boom. So obviously this is a mess because we haven't styled it yet. We haven't really styled any of the app. I'm saving a lot of that stuff for later on once I get sort of my mind into the styling phase of the application. But for right now, I'm just trying to build out the features. This is all usable. We can go to the show page. Looks great. We could go to the edit page. Looks great. We can edit things, and the destroy, it'll say, are you sure? We won't do that. We can create a new video. Let's go ahead and log out. And you can see we stay on the videos page, which is great. Or we don't, we actually log all the way out. So we'll go into the videos, but what I was trying to say is we can stay on the videos page even if we're logged out. And we also can go into the show page. Now the only thing that this doesn't do, which is sort of cool for some of our tests that we haven't included yet, and this is one example of where code coverage doesn't tell you the whole story, but we may want to test to make sure that these two buttons don't show up. It's not important for the functionality of the feature or the test. Like it functionally still works. Like I can't click on this. If I clicked on it, it would take me to the sign-in page. So functionally it's correct. But user experience wise, you would probably want to have some user experience tests that that just ensure that things aren't visible that the user can't actually do. It just isn't a very good user experience saying like, oh, I want to edit or destroy this and click on it, and it's like, nope, you have to sign in. Not a very good experience. So those are different types of tests that you can do, but functionality and making sure the code actually operates properly, this is working beautifully. So I guess I don't usually do this on video, but I'm remembering it today. So I will go into Git status and check out, oh, we did a lot of stuff. We did all these videos, views and things. So we can do git add, then git commit this. We'll add a message, a commit message saying added the videos feature tests model migration controller views. So we did all that. We did the videos feature test model migration controller and views. Pretty much that's what we did. Hit enter there. Good. Git status. Whoops, we'll just spell it right. Looking good. Clear that. We'll do git push origin master. So this is going to push up to GitHub. It's an open source project, so if you guys want to grab the code, you can. Looks perfect. It's right there on jalborn/aliasnerd. If I head on over to the GitHub page, I can refresh this right here. And you can see we added the videos, features, test model, migration controller views for the videos feature. I may not be the best at writing commit messages, but you can get the idea here. So anyways, thank you very much for watching us create that entire feature. The next video I'm going to start thinking about how I want to manage the discussions. And we can probably do that feature in the next video. And once all three of these features are up and running, so we have the users, the projects, the videos discussions, I'm going to add in the Stripe payment processing and subscription feature. And then after that, I'm guessing I could start into the look of the entire application, making it look better. And it'll pretty much be done at that point, and I can start utilizing it as a real world application. So thanks for tuning in, and see you in the next video.